Hey Google, start the downstairs vacuum.
You got it, starting the Deebot.
What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to a new review. Today we are checking out another robotic vacuum called the DEEBOT N79S. So you can find this for around $200, but I've seen it as low as $179 and as high as $260, so it really depends when you buy it. Now, supposedly this was the best-selling robotic vacuum last Black Friday, so I guess that's a good thing. This vacuum has Wi-Fi connectivity and it can be used by the Google Assistant or Amazon's Assistant Alexa, as you've seen at the beginning of the video, but if you don't want to use those, you can just use the ECOVACS app. Now, if you don't want to use the app either, the vacuum comes with the remote control too, so you can just use the remote control, and if you don't want to use the remote control, you can just press that button that we have at the top of the device, and then the vacuum can start cleaning. From the app or the remote control, you can control the vacuum manually, so if you want to send it in a different spot from where it is at that particular time, you can just control it from those. And you can also set cleaning schedules, and that's important because this way the vacuum can clean by itself whenever you're not at home. And me personally, I prefer to do that because I don't want to hear the noise whenever the vacuum is cleaning and I'm at home. So for most people, it's probably very useful to have a cleaning schedule, and that can be set from the app or the remote control. The app has an advantage over the remote control, and that is the fact that it keeps track of whenever you have to change the filter, the side brushes and the main brush, because otherwise you're not gonna know when you have to change them, and you'll have to remember when you got the vacuum, when you change them and so on. But this way the app can do all that for you. This vacuum is mostly made out of plastic and it looks just like all the other robotic vacuums out there. So on the front we have some sensors and a bumper, so those sensors are used so the vacuum can navigate, but if the vacuum doesn't see an obstacle, it will touch to that bumper and then it will turn around. So unlike some more expensive robotic vacuums, this one doesn't have any lasers or cameras, so this one is not gonna be able to map your entire house. Now, there are some advantages and disadvantages to not being able to map the house. The first advantage, if we can call it an advantage, would be the fact that the vacuum will go over the same area multiple times, and that means that it will clean the same area better, because if it goes over the same place over and over, eventually it will be very clean. The downside to that is the fact that it takes much longer than a smarter robotic vacuum to clean. But when I'm talking about a smarter robotic vacuum, I'm talking about other vacuums that are $500+ so much more expensive than this one. Now, if you're not at home whenever the vacuum cleans, it doesn't matter if it takes an hour or an hour and a half, because you're not going to be at home and you're not going to know. But if you're at home and the vacuum cleans for like an hour and a half, that could be annoying versus a more expensive vacuum that can finish in like half the time. Alright, and moving to the bottom of the vacuum, there we have more sensors, and those sensors are used so the vacuum doesn't fall down the stairs, and of course I tried it on my stairs and no, the vacuum is not gonna fall down the stairs. We also have a couple of side brushes, and those basically push the dirt towards the center brush, the main brush, and that main brush can also be removed and replaced, and you're gonna wanna clean that every few days because it catches a lot of hair. And aside from that, we have the two driving wheels for the vacuum. And moving to the back of the vacuum, there we have the dustbin. The dustbin is very simple to remove. You basically pull on it and it's very simple to clean as well. You just open it, you dump the dirt and then you put it back on. The filter is also sitting on top of that dustbin, and once again it's very simple to remove, and you're gonna have to replace that filter every so often. But there are filters available on Amazon, so it's very simple to do so. Now I'm very happy to see that the dustbin is actually made out of clear plastic, because you can see how much dirt there is in that dustbin, and you don't actually have to take it out every single time. And in my case I had to empty it every 3 days because otherwise it would get too full. So it really depends how big your house is, but for my house every 3 to 4 days I would have to clean the dustbin. Since we have that brush at the bottom, the vacuum does great for hard floors and carpets. Now, whenever it goes over carpets, is a bit slower, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The suction power is also pretty good, and you can choose a max suction power or a normal suction power. If you choose the max one, of course, the battery life will decrease a bit. And as I mentioned earlier, the vacuum will go over the same area multiple times, and that means that it's going to leave everything very clean afterwards. So really no complaints about the cleaning quality from this particular vacuum. On one charge, the vacuum can go for about an hour and 20 minutes, and in my case that's perfect because it takes the vacuum about an hour to clean my entire house. Now my other smart robotic vacuum that's twice the price can do my entire house in about 27 minutes. So I guess that's where the price difference comes to play. And if you have a bigger house, the vacuum will have to go and recharge and then continue cleaning. Now it knows how to go back to the dock by itself, so whenever it's low on battery it will go back and recharge, or whenever it's done cleaning it will go back to the dock, so it knows how to do that. Before you let this vacuum go around your house, you're gonna have to clean up your house a bit. So you're gonna have to remove cables, you're gonna have to remove small toys or anything like that from the floor. But this is not only for this vacuum, it's the same for pretty much any robotic vacuum. And even my $500 robotic vacuum will get stuck on a whole bunch of things. Now, if you leave a cable on the floor, your iPhone's cable, for example, that cable is going to go around the brush and of course the vacuum will stop. If you leave a toy on the floor, the vacuum will get stuck on it, and then whenever you get home, the vacuum hasn't finished cleaning. And you definitely don't want that. So go around the house and clean up a bit, and the best thing to do when you get a new vacuum is basically to follow it around the house, because the vacuum will get stuck in the same spot every single time. So if you see that the vacuum gets stuck in a certain place, try moving something in that place. Get a chair in that place or something like that. But this is the same for all robotic vacuums. So I've noticed this with every single robotic vacuum that I tried. They all tend to get stuck in the same spots around the house. Now my house is definitely different from your house and so on. So look around, follow this around for the first couple of times and you're gonna see where it gets stuck. Like most robotic vacuums, this one has an edge cleaning mode, so the vacuum will just go around the edges of your entire house, and we also have a spot cleaning mode. So if you spill something in one spot, you can just take the vacuum there, press that spot cleaning mode, and the vacuum will just clean in one spot and then it will stop. And it's time to conclude this video. So for the price, this vacuum does a pretty good job. Now, the vacuum is not as smart as some other more expensive vacuums, and the downside to that is the fact that it takes longer to clean, but it does do a good job even though it takes longer to clean. So the cleaning quality is good enough. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.